Hi friends, it's Morah Mushkie again. Today we're going to go on a bit of a walk and see what kind of things we can find that are related to spring. Like what kind of cool spring stuff we can find. And then after we find all the stuff and we put them in this bag over here, we're going to come back and we're going to do a little experiment with them. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do now is, right now when we go outside, because the virus is still outside, we want to make sure that we stay safe. So I'm going to put on my mask. You may have seen one of these before, right? This part keeps all the germs from getting into your mouth or your nose. So I might look a little different, but I'm still going to be the same Morah Mushkie, all right? So look, this is what I look like without the mask, and now I'm going to put it on. Ready? I'm going to put it around my ears so it stays on. There we go. I sound a little different, right? I got to make it cover my nose too. And I'm going to put my glasses on top. There we go. And I'm also going to put on my gloves on my hands to keep my hands clean while we touch all the things outside and make sure that no germs get in. All right? You may have worn these before if you go for a walk too. Do you wear a mask and a gloves when you go outside? Or are you still staying inside all the time? I wonder. All right? Now I have my gloves and my mask and my coat and my bag. I'm ready to go outside and see what spring things we could collect. Hi friends, I'm outside my house and I brought my brother David with me. Hi David.
Hi.
He also has his mask and where's your gloves, David? So he's all safe too. He's all protected from the germs. Here's our bag. David, do you want to hold the bag? You can be our collector. Alright, let's go see what spring things we can find. Let's go for a walk. Oh, David, look, there's some leaves. Oh, look, actually there's some little rocks. Do you want to get the little rocks? We'll see if we can do an experiment with those. The little rock there on the floor. Yeah. See the weather outside? It's pretty gray, but it's not super cold. That's why we can leave our jackets open. It's getting warmer. Oh, do you want to get those leaves there on the floor too? Where are the leaves? You see those leaves growing? Just there on the floor. There's one of the green ones. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with those leaves. Oh, look over here are some pretty little flowers. You see those little flowers there? They're so pretty. You see those purple little flowers? Don't take those, David, because they're still growing. But you know what? Instead of going to the park, let's go, I think we have time. Let's go that way and see what's happening over here. We can walk past President Street, where they have the pretty tulips. Oh, here's some more things growing. That's right. In the springtime, things grow. And see those pretty plants too? Everything's growing in the spring. David, what do you like about the springtime?
I like that it's like getting warmer and like the sun could warm us up, and I also like some of the fruits in the spring.
Ooh, that's a good point. What kind of fruits in the springtime?
Well,
You mean like the ones that weren't growing and they weren't in season the whole winter?
yeah, like a peach or mangoes.
Yum. Those really, they get really ripe in the summer, but you're right, they're starting to become ripe now in the spring. All right. Ooh, I think we see another really pretty tree. Let's turn around here and have a look. Where is it? There it is, behind us here. This is a magnolia tree. It's really beautiful. David, can you see if there's any magnolia blossoms or leaves on the floor that we could collect? Oh, look here, there's lots and lots of them. See all the little pink pieces on the floor? Like, oh, here's one too. David, here, look, this magnolia blossom fell down. Let's put it in. David's collecting them all in the bag, and we'll see what we can do with them. And here's some other leaves and things growing. Ooh, these ones look really nice too. Feels nice to be outside in the fresh air. All right, let's turn the corner. Oh, look, before we turn the corner, there's another pretty magnolia tree. Where is it? Hello, magnolia tree. Here we are. It's getting some really pretty flowers, like over here, and leaves. All right, we're gonna go and walk a little more, and we'll see you again soon when we find something else about it. Friends, we're back, and guess what we found? A really beautiful tree with lots and lots of pink flowers. Do you know what this one is called? This is a cherry blossom tree. Let's see if we can get a close-up view of one of the flowers. Even though cherries don't actually grow on these trees, they're called cherry blossoms, and they're super duper beautiful. So check out over here on the ground. so many of those petals that they fell down. All right, let's see all those pretty cherry blossoms. Should we see if we can get a closer view of any of them? Let's have a look here. Can you see them? I'm trying to see if there's one lower down. Oh, how about right over here? Nope, you still can't really see. Here they are. That's a cherry blossom flower. And they're super pretty and pink. They are very, they grow really nice in the spring. And let's put them in the bag, David. Let's take them home and see what we can do with them. And look, it looks like there's a whole carpet of cherry blossom petals growing now. And here's some more things that are growing in the spring. Look how nice and green that plant is. I think the whole winter that plant was empty and it didn't have any leaves. But now in the springtime, all the leaves and flowers are growing again. I wonder where else we might see some pretty flowers or leaves. Oh, here's some more leaves. These plants don't have any flowers, but they do have really pretty green leaves. There's some grass growing. And oh, I think we might see some more cherry blossom trees really soon. Here we are. Feels like we're under a whole curtain of cherry blossoms. Deva, do you like cherry blossoms?
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's another one that's really close to your head. You see it? If you reach up, you think you can touch it? Yeah, you got it. I'm going to try to reach up too. Yep, I can reach this one also. Let's see if we can pull the branch down. Hi there, cherry blossoms. Now I'll let it go back up. David, should we have some leaves from the cherry blossoms and put it in our bag too?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get some of the leaves. Whew, that got some water from the tree right in my eye. I think it rained this morning. It also rains a lot in the spring because all the plants need the water to grow. Alright, that's probably good. We don't want to take off too many leaves because then the plant won't be able to grow. What else? I hope we see some more flowers soon. Deva, do you see any flowers anywhere? Oh, I see some right over here. Look, check it out. What are these beautiful flowers called? Do you know these ones, David?
I think they're tulips.
They are. These ones are tulips, and they're super, super beautiful. Oh, look, actually, these tulips are also wet from the rain, like the cherry blossoms were. Do you see those raindrops on the tulips? Tulips come in so many shapes and sizes and colors. These ones are super beautiful. I see here some pink tulips and some white tulips. And, ooh, those cool ones are red and orange. That's really neat, too. I don't think we can get the tulips because these aren't on the street. They're in someone's garden. So we can't take them home. But we can look at them and see how pretty they are. Which one is your favorite, David?
I think the pink and orange reminds me of the peach.
Oh, yeah, that is really pretty. I like the really big pink ones. Those are really nice, too. In the corner over here, we're walking past someone else's garden. Let's see if they have anything pretty in here. Ooh, lots and lots of green plants.
Oh,
Anything
there's
else?
some purple tulips.
Oh, wow, look at that. I see it. It's a little hard to see. Can you tell where it is? Right over there. It's a purple tulip. And some other pretty ones, too. There's a pink one and a red one. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, I see something happening in the next house, too. This garden is all ready for spring. Look at those pretty pink flowers. Those are really nice. I wonder what those are called. I don't know. Wow, this whole garden is really ready for spring. I don't see anything we can pick up, though, because these are not ours. This is someone else's garden. Oh, but David, I do see some branches on the floor. Can you get the branches? Look, those fell on the floor, so they're available for us. You can't take something from someone else's garden, but you could take something that fell on the floor. Right? All right, David. David, can you show us the bag? We're getting a nice collection of different spring items. We're going to take them home and see what we can do with them. Some cool science experiment. I think we're going to see some more pretty tulips soon. Let's have a look. David, oh, here they are. These are super beautiful too. Those are pink over here and purple. We can't take those home because they're also in someone's garden, but we can enjoy them and see how beautiful they are. Let's see.
This one has a purple branch stem.
Oh, that is really neat. You see that? That's the stem. Instead of usually being green like other flowers, it actually is a little purple. That's really pretty. All right, let's keep on walking and see what else we can find. Cool big tree right at top of us, and it's actually dropping a lot of things onto the floor. You see here, the whole floor is covered with these little leaf things. David, should we see if we can get a few of these, even though they're super, super tiny? All right, let's get some of them and see if we can bring them back and do some cool science stuff with them. Thank you. Check this out, guys. Over here, there aren't any flowers growing yet, but these little pieces here, these are all gonna be tulips soon. The stem is getting ready first, and then the flower is gonna pop up. So if we come back here in a few days or maybe a few weeks, it's gonna be super beautiful. I wonder what color tulips would grow here. I don't know. Again, friends, so we found a really pretty tree that has lots and lots of leaves, and some of them fell down on the sidewalk. See this one over here? So we're gonna take this one home, and we're gonna see what we can do with that too. All right, we're gonna keep exploring and see if we can find any other spring things happening outside. We found another pretty garden I wanted to show you. This one has some beautiful tulips and some other pretty branches and nice green grass. You see those tulips on the side? And here's some little bushes. Those are really nice. And oh, I see something pretty at the next house too. Let's keep walking a little bit more. It's nice to get some fresh air. Oh, do you see those pretty purple flowers over there? Those are really nice. I wish I could pick some, but they're not mine. If I wanted to get some big flowers, I can go to the store and buy some. But for now, I'm just going for a walk with you guys. And here's some other things. Oh, here's some beautiful big tulips. You see those nice big red ones? Those are really big. All right, I think that's all for this part of the street. See you again soon. This will be our last part of our spring walk, but I found a really beautiful few trees over here that I wanted to show you. The first one is over here. Do you see that beautiful pink tree? And then over here is another super cool pink tree. And then, where was the other one? This one? And, oh, let's keep walking. I think we'll find another one. There's one more that we actually saw it before. You see what this one is? This is another cherry blossom. And over here is a different kind of cool tree. So, David, let's collect a few of these petals if we can, and then we'll go back, all right? Thank you, David. Oh, David's collecting some more petals over there, just from the edge where they fell on the sidewalk. All right, David, you want to wave bye to everyone? Thanks for your help, and we'll see you later when we go back to the house and we'll do a science experiment. Everything we collected. Hi, friends. It's Morah Mushkie and David again. We came back to our house now. We took off our mask, and we took off our gloves, and we washed our hands, and now we're all clean. We're inside, and we're ready to start. Here's all the things that we collected when we were outside. All the things that we found that you can only see outside in the springtime. Lots of leaves and flower petals and what else? Some grass and branches and maybe even a few rocks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if these things are going to sink or float. And sink or float are things that items do when you put them in water. If something goes on to the bottom of the water, that's called sinking. If something stays at the top of the water, that's called floating. People can sink or float too. Like if you want to swim on the bottom of the ocean, or not all the way at the bottom, but like a lower down or the bottom of the swimming pool, you might sink down for a little bit and then swim. Or you can do a special kind of way of putting your body in the water so that you could float. And float is when you stay right at the top of the water and you don't go down. So let's fill up this container with some water, and then we can check if these things will sink or float. Somebody want to hold on to these? You can put them in the water one at a time. All right. Let's fill this up with some water. We want it to be really full so that we can see if the things are going to sink or they're going to float. We might need some more water. David, do you want to go fill this up again with water? And while David goes to fill those up, I have another bowl over here that we could use to fill this up with water. We're still going to need some more water. Now we're about halfway full with water. We want it to be as full as we can get it, so that it's going to be really clear and easy to see if the things that we put in will sink or float. I got a little bit of water on my glasses, so I'm going to take it off and dry them. That's better. Now we're really ready to start. As soon as it brings back the rest of the water, right? So let's have a look here and see what kind of things we might start with. We can put them over here. You can't see it, but we'll put it down on each one. We'll do one at a time. So the first thing that we have is these cool little leaves here that are attached to the branch. Oh, thank you, David. David brought some more water. David, you can go ahead and pour that in. And thank you. A few more leaves. These are big green, dark green leaves that are also attached to a branch. And here is one leaf, one by itself. That's a little bit green and a little bit brown. It's a little bit dried out. And oh, here is one more bigger leaf that's all still green. And this one is a branch, a medium-sized branch. Oh, this is a really long piece of grass. See that one? And here is a flower from a tree. This is a magnolia flower from a magnolia tree. Here is a smaller branch. See, it's just a little piece of a branch. And here are some cherry blossom flower petals. What else do we have in here? We have a bunch more little flower petals, a bunch more of the cherry blossoms. Ooh, we have two little rocks. Let's see what the rocks will do, I wonder. And another magnolia flower. But this one is really just a flower bud. It's still closed up. And a few of some different kind of leaves. This is, I think it's a pine leaf. I think so. Yeah. And there's more cherry blossom petals in here. There's also some other cool petals. See these flower petals? More cherry blossom petals, more other leaves. Let me see if there's anything else different that we can do a science experiment with. Oh yeah, there were these little guys. These are really small pieces from a tree. They're the ones that we saw where the ground was all covered with the green pieces. I'm not even sure what they're called, but they look pretty cool. All right, is that all our stuff, David? Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. You know what? I wonder if we put this, move this over a little bit, and then we put this on top over here. The children can see what we're putting inside. Yeah, that will work well. Okay, so we can't see you. Okay, so are we ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do is each thing that we put in, we're going to drop it in the water, and we're going to see if it sinks to the bottom. I mean, if we see it going down like that and staying down, or if it stays at the top, like over here. Okay, so before we put each thing in, let's give our guess. That's what scientists do. They do they make a hypothesis. That's called their kind of science kind of guess for what they think is going to happen. So let's do a thumbs up if you think it's going to sink, and a thumbs down if you think it's going to float. Actually, no, other way around. Let's do a thumbs down if you think it's going to sink, and a thumbs up if you think it's going to float. Okay? So let's start with the magnolia bud over here. What's your hypothesis? What do you think? David thinks it's going to float. I think it's going to sink. You want to put it in and see? Hey, you were right. It's floating at the top. Do you guys see it? It didn't go down. Let me try and push it down and see if it will go. Come on, Magnolia. You can do it. Ah, no, it really doesn't want to. It pushed its way up, right back up to the top. Here it is. It's floating around. You look like you're having a nice trip in the water, Magnolia. Okay, let's try something else. What should we try next?
The cherry blossom.
Okay. Yeah, we have two of them, so you can put in that one and I'll put in that one. You want to do that one? Okay. What's your hypothesis? I think this one is going to float.
I think also.
Okay, show us yours. Okay, we both think it's going to float. Let's see. We were right. It is floating. It's floating right on the top. You see, here's one, here's the other one. They're not going down in the water. Let's see if we push these. Sometimes when things get wet, they start to sink. Let's see if we push it under the water, what's it going to do? That one came right back up. Nope, that one floated right back up too. It kind of looks like they're swimming.
Yeah.
Okay, Now, how about we do this, the tiny little green pieces in the trees? What's your hypothesis? What do you think will happen? You think it's going to float? I think these will sink because they're super tiny. But I don't know. Let's see. Hey, these are also floating. I don't even know if you could see these. They're so super tiny. These are all floating on the top, along with the cherry blossoms and the magnolia bud. Hey, everything that we did so far is floating. All right, what should we do next?
The dried out leaf.
Okay, go for it. What's your hypothesis? Sink. I think it's going to float, just because everything else floated. Go ahead. It's floating too. What about if we push this one down? Oh, it sunk a tiny bit, but it still came right back up to the top. See? If I push it down, push. It stays down there for 1 second, and then it comes right back up. The other ones they didn't even stay down for a second. They came right back up straight away. This one,
I think it's because it's dried out.
I think so also. I wonder what that has to do with it, but I think you're right. Okay, what else should we do?
Piece of grass.
Okay. Oh, that's a really long piece of grass. See how long it is, friends? It actually goes all the way over to the whole camera. You see it? It's even longer than the space that we have. Okay, what's your hypothesis, David? What do you think is going to happen? Is this going to sink or is it going to float?
I think it's going to float.
You think this one's going to float? I think so too. Okay, this one's actually so big that I have to put it sideways so it will fit inside our container. Ready, set, and go. Oh, this one's also floating. Do you see it over here? This is actually so big I'm going to break it in half so friends can see it. Alright, watch this. Here it is. It's still floating. Let me try and push it down. Nope, it came right back up. What about the other piece? Push. Come on, grass. You can do it. Stay down. Nope, it still wanted to come right back up.
Maybe we should take a video from over here so they can see.
Let me see that. Okay, let's try this one now. This branch with all those little leaves on it, they're pretty interesting because they used to be all green, I think, and now they're a little bit dried out. Some of them are getting a little brown. What's your hypothesis, David? What do you think is going to happen? You think it's going to float? What's my hypothesis? Well, you know what? Because all the other branches, well, we didn't do any branches yet. All the other flowers and leaves that we did so far, they all floated. So I think this one's also going to float. That's also my hypothesis. Because when scientists do a hypothesis, they're not just guessing. They're also thinking about what happened before or what similar kind of things did. So since this leaf floated and this grass floated and these flowers floated too, I think that this one, which is similar kind of thing, is also going to float. Do you want to put it in? Okay, let's see what it's going to do. Oh, wait, here. There we go. It's right over here. Staying right at the top. Should we try and push it down and see what happens? Do you think it's going to stay at the bottom when I let go?
No.
Okay, let's see. Nope, it came right back up to the top. There it is. It's going for a little swim around. Come swim this way. Go ahead. You can't really swim. It's not a fish. But it is moving around in the water because the water is moving a little too. What else do we have left over here?
A branch.
Oh, cool. We have two branches.
The purple one.
It is a little bit purple. We have a pretty small branch and we have a really long branch. Should we try them at the same time?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to do the same thing or will they do something different from each other?
Same.
Think they'll both act the same? Think if one of them floats, then they'll both float?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Because you know what? Things that are made out of the same materials, they usually act the same when they're sinking or floating. You know what branches are made out of?
Wood?
Right. Trees and branches are made out of wood. The tree trunk is where we get wood from, and branches are made out of wood. The only part of the tree that's not made out of wood is this little guy over here, the leaves. They're not made out of wood. And if a tree grows any flowers, like the cherry blossom tree, that's not going to be made out of wood either. All right, ready to drop in our branches on the count of 3. Oh, wait, did we say our hypothesis?
No.
Okay, let's say it. I think that this is going to float. You know why I think that?
Because it's wood.
Because it's wood. And wood pretty much always floats.
Isn't that why boats are made out of that?
That's right. Remember the story of Noah and his teva? That's what happened then. He made it out of wood because that's what always floats. All right, ready, set, and go. Here they are. They're staying at the top. Do you see them here? Look, if I let go, look what's going to happen. And this one too. If I let go, look what's going to happen. It popped right back up. So you were right, David. You were right in your hypothesis that they would both float, that they would act the same as each other, and that wood always floats. Here they are. They're staying at the top. I wonder if anything that we picked is going to sink.
I also do.
If nothing sinks, then maybe we can find something in our house that will sink, so the children can see what it looks like when something does sink. Should we try that?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a few more things left to do before that, though. What else is on our little plate?
Branch with a few leaves.
All right. What's your hypothesis with that one?
It'll float.
Okay. I think that too. Let's go for it. Oh, there it is. It is floating. You see, this leaf here is actually hanging down a little bit. I wonder what will happen if I pick it back up here. It is staying at the top. Let me see if I push this one down, what will happen? You think it will stay on the bottom if I let go?
No, look, you could tell the leaves are standing up.
Oh, you're right. You see, they're trying to get back up. All right, go ahead. Let's see what you can do. It looks like they're swimming back up to the top. But they're going pretty slowly. You know why they're going so slowly? I think this one here is folded over a little bit. See this one? This one was folded over a little bit and it had some water caught inside. So that water that was caught inside here, it was like a little pocket, was making the leaf heavier and it was making it harder for it to float. Let's see if we unfold it. Let's see if it will be easier for it to float. If it will come up from the bottom faster. Let's try it this time. No, it's still coming pretty slowly, but it is still floating. It's not staying on the bottom. But there's something about these leaves that are making them float a little less. They're not sinking completely, but they are taking a little bit of a longer time to come back up to the top. Interesting. Okay, we're almost done here. What else do we have?
A few petals. I think there's a magnolia.
Magnolia, yeah.
Magnolia. And 2 rocks. And another leaf.
Okay, let's try the magnolias. The magnolia flowers. So what you have in your hand there is a whole magnolia flower, and these 2 are just magnolia petals. I think they fell off of the tree. Do you think that they're going to float or sink?
This one's a bit dried out, so I think it might, if you put it to the bottom, it might take a longer to come back up.
David's paying attention to what's happening. He noticed that the other things that we put down on the bottom, the ones that were more dried out, took a little longer to come back up, even if they did float. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I think it's going to float. Ready, set, and go. Yep, they're all floating. Should we try and push them down?
Yeah.
You want to try?
No, it's coming right back up.
It's called buoyant. When something is very floaty, it's called buoyant. These are very buoyant. What about these? Nope, they also come right back up. They're swimming really fast. Meanwhile, these leaves that we did before, they're kind of still floating halfway in between. They're not so buoyant. Okay, so now we just have 1 leaf left. This is a bigger one. It's not attached to any branch. And the 2 little rocks. Let's save the rocks for last. What do you think this leaf is going to do?
Float.
I think so too. That's my hypothesis, because all the other leaves floated. Yep, here it is on the top. Let me try to push it down. Nope, it comes right back up. Although, just like the other one, yeah.
It swims a bit faster than the other, but not that much.
That's true. I wonder if there's anything different about these. Let's compare the 2 leaves, the 2 kinds of leaves. They have a similar shape. They're round on the sides and pointy at the top. But this one is attached to a few other leaves, and it has a branch attached, while this one is by itself. I wonder if this makes it heavier, and that's why it's not floating so much. Because I don't see any other differences between them. Do you notice any other differences?
I think these are a bit more they're like wrinkly, a bit more dried out, maybe.
So you think that's why? You think if there's more water inside something, if it's wetter, then it floats more?
No, it looks like it's dried out.
Right, but you think if the one is wetter and it's fresher, then
it's fresher, then it'll float.
Because it still has a little more water inside it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Friends, if you remember, you may have had another class with Morah Esther, Morah Leba, or a different Morah about how the flowers in the spring drink up the water from inside their stems. So maybe the leaves do the same kind of thing. They drink up the water, and then when there's more water inside them that they drink up, then maybe they float better. I don't know. Interesting. All right, here's our last thing. What is it?
Rocks.
2 little rocks. You know what? These are kind of different than the other things that we found, because everything else that we tried so far was something that grows on a tree or in the ground or on a plant. But rocks don't grow. Hashem just put them there. So what is your hypothesis for what's going to happen with the rocks when we put them in the water?
Sink.
I also think they're going to sink, because they're different than the other things. And they are heavier, and I don't think they're as buoyant. But let's see. Should we each put in one rock?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready, set, and go. They both fell right to the bottom. They sank. Finally, we found something that didn't float. It sank. There, did you watch it sink? Can you see it go? I'll do it one more time so you can see. Watch. See this little thing in my hands? Watch what's going to happen to it. Ready, set, go. There it is. And I'll do this other one also so you can see it. Ready, set, go. Did you hear it also? It went right down to the bottom. One more time just so you can listen. Right down to the bottom. Those sank. So all of the things that we found that are plants, or they came from a tree, or they grow in the ground, they all floated, even though some of them were more buoyant than others. Some of them floated faster or higher than others. But the rocks, which are a little heavier, and they didn't have any water or air inside them, because they don't have anything, they don't have any stem to drink up water inside them, and they're also not from the ground and not from a plant, they sink right down to the bottom. All right, that was a fun experiment, friends. Maybe you can try to do a kind of experiment like that in your house. Even if you can't go outside on a walk, you could try it. Maybe you can ask your grown-ups if there are some toys you can use to practice and see if they float. Or maybe in the bath, you could see if your bath toys float. Some bath toys float when they're empty, and then they sink when there's water inside them, because that makes them heavier. So it's really fun to be scientists and try new things and try different experiments. And I hope you guys had a good time watching us and seeing our walk outside and seeing our experiment to see what sinks and what floats. See you next time. And thank you, Deborah, for your help. Bye.